Hello and welcome back to Logan Shares. On this channel, I'm sharing things that I have done, currently do, and plan to do in order to retire very rich and very early. These things include building up your savings account, building up your credit score, investing in retirement accounts, investing in the stock market, and much more. Now, if you want to see more tips and tricks from me, go ahead and like this video, subscribe, and leave a comment down below about what you want to see in my next videos. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you guys about the different types of retirement accounts. Now, before we get started, go ahead and leave a comment down below about how old you are and what age you have set up your retirement accounts, or if you haven't set up any yet at all. Also, leave a comment about what brokerage you use and why you use them, because I would like to know. Let's get started. Now there's a bunch of different types of retirement accounts, but today I'm going to share with you guys the ones that I found are the main types. You should really be starting as early as you can, and you don't have to have tons of money in order to set up these accounts. Some retirement accounts can be set up through your employer, or you can set them up by yourself. Now the first account we're going to talk about is the 401k. Now the 401k is an account that's usually set up by employers for their employees, and the account is tax advantaged, which means it would either be exempt or deferred from taxes. And deferred means that you don't have to pay the taxes now, but you will have to pay them later. For the 401k, the way that you make contributions is you set aside an amount per paycheck that will go into the account, and most employers will match that. So let's say you put in $200 a month into your 401k account. As an incentive to stay with the company, they will match that and put $200 more of their own money into your 401k account. So you are already automatically doubling the amount of money that you're putting into this account. And like I said earlier, the 401k is tax deferred, which means that the money you put in is not yet taxed, but it will be taxed whenever you withdraw it. And you usually withdraw when you retire, but if you absolutely need to take this money out for any reason, there will be an extra taxed penalty. But usually for any type of retirement account, if you take the money out before your actual retirement, there will be a penalty anyway. Now the second type of retirement account is a rollover IRA. IRA means individual retirement account. And this is just a way to roll over your already existing money from your employer-sponsored retirement account into a new one. Now, this is good if you change jobs or you need a good third-party site or brokerage to be a constant for you, and you can keep your money in there while you're going through these job changes or for the rest of your life. These rollover IRAs might work differently with different brokerage companies, but basically you're doing a transfer of your money from this account to this one without having to pay taxes on it. Now, the third type of retirement account is the traditional IRA. The traditional IRA is tax deferred, which again means that you don't pay taxes just yet on the money, but you will have to eventually. How this happens is your pay stubs will show your total earnings for that pay period, otherwise known as your gross pay, which is how much you made before you pay taxes. Then it'll show you how much of each type of tax is taken out of that gross pay. After that, you'll see the total net, which is what's left over after the taxes were taken out. What happens with the traditional IRA is that you can subtract a specific amount of money from your gross pay or the amount of money that you made before taxes were taken out, and you stash that money into the traditional IRA account. Then what's left over from what you subtract to put into your IRA, and then the cuts from taxes, is what you finally receive as a paycheck. What this does is gives you more money to invest up front. Just think about what I just said. You have your gross pay, and then taxes come and slash your money, and you get to keep what's left over. With the traditional IRA, you get to put money that has not yet been slashed into your account to invest. And then just like with the 401k, you pay the taxes whenever you cash out. And again, you have a penalty if you cash out before retirement, except for buying your first home, medical bills from childbirth, adoption fees, and certain college expenses. So if you take money out of the account to specifically pay for these types of things, there will be no penalty. And strategically, this type of account helps if you plan to be in a lower tax bracket when you're retiring, meaning you don't want to retire when you're a CEO of a company. You want to maybe quit and be one of those really nice older people that work in the dining room at Chick-fil-A, or just quit working in general. And then you cash out. Because when you cash out in your current tax bracket. Meaning if there's tons of money in that account, but you cash out when you're either unemployed or working for a small wage, you'll basically pay the lowest amount of taxes that you can. Which also reminds me, you do not need to cash out on your retirement accounts as soon as you stop stopped working. Hopefully my videos have helped you build up your credit score and build up your savings accounts so that you won't need that money right away, and you can keep that money in your retirement account so it can stay invested. Now, our fourth and final type of retirement account is the Roth IRA. The Roth IRA is just like a savings account where you contribute your already taxed money. For example, I'm a server/bartender, so my cash comes home with me and goes into the bank every Monday, and my paychecks get deposited into my Roth IRA. The only drawback is that you can only deposit $6,000 per year into this account. What's really cool is, just like a regular savings account, you can withdraw your contributions at any time for any reason with no penalty. But you can't withdraw the capital gains, which is the money that you made off of that money, until you retire. Let's do some math. Let's say that, like me, you've already deposited into your Roth IRA the yearly maximum of $6,000. But because of your investments, the current value of your Roth IRA account is $6,827.55. You can withdraw your full original $6,000 at any time for any reason, but $827.55 must stay in the account or you'll receive a tax penalty on it, since those earnings are capital gains, which is the money that you made off of your money. Now, this is better for a person just like me who's in a really low tax bracket. Like I said, I'm a server and a bartender, so my W-2s do not show that I make a lot of money. So I'm in the lowest tax bracket possible. This means that the taxes taken out of my money now are much less than if I started making a lot of money in the future, which would be when I would start putting my money into a traditional IRA instead of a Roth. If you plan this out strategically, you can always be in the lowest tax bracket for your money. Now, there are a bunch of different types of retirement accounts out there, but in my opinion, these are the main types. So if I missed any and you have questions about any more, please leave a comment down below and I'll do some research. Again, thanks for watching Logan Shares, and I'll see you next Wednesday.